Sports fans, this is Robert with WTP Sports Tunes, here live for another edition of Saturday Sports Freestyling, where we're going to be talking about anything sports that you want to discuss. If you're out there in the chat, please get your questions in on whatever you want us to talk about on this channel. Any sport, it doesn't matter. We're going to try to answer any questions that you have. I'm here this morning with my man SEC Sean, who did a fabulous job yesterday on NASCAR for Beginners Part 2. You got to go back and check out that video on SEC's podcast, SEC Sean's podcast on YouTube. Go check that out. How you feeling this morning, SEC Sean?
Good. Little tired. Long night of high school football out of Texas watching, but got to get prepped and ready to go for this this good slate of college football. That's why Moss would be happy. I got my cup of coffee right here, so I know he'd be happy for me. So let's just get this day rolling and see where it takes us.
Yeah, you mentioned Texas high school football. Can you explain to the audience how many different divisions there are, how it operates, and how many teams possibly get in out of each one of those divisions when they play in the playoffs?
So Texas breaks it down into 6 different classifications. 1A is the smallest. That's actually 6-man football. And then, of course, you go 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, all the way up to 6A, which is the big boys. And then it's broken down into 2 different divisions per class. So everything from 5A to 1A is pre-split before the season starts. They already know you're in Division 1, you're in Division 2. 6A does it as the playoffs start. And it's the 2 highest enrollments go to Division 1 and the 2 lowest enrollments go to Division 2. That's how they break down that. I wish they would do it all the same, but they don't for some reason. You get, I think it's in the first weekend of playoffs, which was last weekend, there's, I think, 356 games across the state. So 700, and it comes out to like 702 teams or 802 teams, something like that. It's an insane amount of teams that make the playoffs. And then they, of course, whittle it down by half all the way through the state championship games, which are always the Wednesday through Saturday before Christmas. It's a 4-day event at Cowboy Stadium there in Arlington. They do 3 games on Wednesday, 3 games on Thursday, 3 on Friday, and 3 on Saturday. And you can get a ticket for all of them. Used to be able to. I won't say that. You used to be able to get a ticket for a whole pass for I think it was $100. You get every game, and parking's included. Now I think they make you pay for, ever since COVID, I think they make you pay for every game. So, I mean, it comes out to if you pay for all 12, it's like if you pay $10 a ticket, it's $120. So you were saving $20 on the old way, apparently. But it's the most intense playoff bracket I've ever seen.
What round are they in now? Because they started, 2 weeks ago, maybe?
Last week. Last week, what they do is they pair up. So you have different districts, 1 through 32 or something. So obviously in the bi-district round, 1 plays 2, 2 plays 3, the districts. 1 plays 2. Now we're in this week. Today we'll end the area round, which is the second round of the playoffs. So next week will be the regional semifinals, then the regional finals, then the state semifinals, and then the championship. So it's a 16-game season to win state. You have to play 16 games to win state in Texas.
Okay, let's bring our man T1 in. T1 of City League TV, also somebody else. We also call him Mr. Claiborne. How you feeling this morning, T1?
What it do? What it do? Up and moving, fellas. Up and moving. How y'all doing?
Doing well. I got another question for SEC Sean. Then I got a question for you, T1. as it relates to high school football here in Columbus, Ohio, and in the state of Ohio. What are some for SEC, Sean? What are some of the top name schools that produce some of the most talent out of the state of Texas that you can name off the top of your head real quick for us?
How long you got? People in Ohio will probably know the school Lake Travis due to the simple fact Garrett Wilson came out of there. Rockwall produced Jackson Smith and Jigba. Allen, Texas has produced people like Kyler Murray. South Lake Carroll was where former Ohio State quarterback Quinn Ewers was. Galena Park North Shore out of Houston is always producing D1 talent all over the field. Katy High School produced Andy Dalton. Really, that's probably the best one to come out of Katy High School, but Katy High School always produces a lot. Austin Westlake, Cade Klubnik from Clemson is there. Drew Brees is from there. Highland Park had Matthew Stafford, and in professional baseball, Clayton Kershaw. They were on the two pitchers on their state championship baseball team. But there's just so many programs that produce talent, and they're building so many new schools too, that the talent is now getting even more spread out. Back when I was in Texas living in high school, this is going to be a long time ago, where my wife went to school, it was one high school, Alvin ISD, home of Nolan Ryan. There's now 4 high schools in that school district. Cypress ISD was like 2 or 3 schools when I moved from down to Houston, and now they're 12. So, and these schools aren't 1,000 kids in them each. These schools are 2,500 plus, some 4,000, some 4,200. So these aren't small schools. These are huge, big schools. So those are your name ones. DeSoto, Duncanville. I mean, South Oak Cliff.
Hey John, I was waiting on you to say DeSoto and Duncanville.
Yeah,
I know those 2 programs a little bit.
Yeah, those are 2. Duncanville has got a lot more prominent here lately. They were down for a little while, but your South Lake Carrolls, your Allens, your Duncanville now, your Lake Travis, Westlake, Cibolo Steel, and Converse Judson out of San Antonio Market, Katy, North Shore, Spring Westfield, Humble, Atascocita, Summer Creek, Mild High School, Manville, Pearland. Andre Ware went to Dickinson High School. So, I mean, there's tons of schools down there that are good. But as far as, people up in the nation probably know of Katy High School the most. That's been the premier blue blood of Texas for years.
Yeah. T1, how did you feel about the City League this year in the playoffs, and the fact that, now the playoffs adds a lot more City League teams? Back when we were in high school playing City League football, we didn't get many City League teams into the state playoffs. Now you get a lot of teams into the state playoffs. How do you feel about the City League and what they did this year, and what do you like the most about their format that they have now?
Well, I mean, I like that they let City League teams into the playoffs, but I don't like the matching up of City League teams against almost any suburban team. I feel like it should be. I feel like the state of Ohio should have a different category for those public schools in Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Columbus, and Dayton. I think it should be a whole nother public school division, because once a Columbus City school get into the playoffs, they may get one win. If they have a pretty decent seed, they may get one win, but after that, it's extremely hard. You'll have to have a really, really loaded team like Brookhaven did back in I want to say it was probably 2000 or something like that, or 1998 or something. I don't know. But when Brookhaven, which is the only city league team to ever win a state championship, it's just absolutely uphill battle for a city league team to get any type of traction in the state playoffs. I mean, it's almost like we don't have any business being there because we get beat bad.
Let me ask you a question real quick, T. Like in Texas, would you prefer that maybe Ohio followed like a Texas model, where they took all the public schools and they played for one, and then all the private schools were in their own division and played against each other for the playoffs?
Well, we and still that would still put us up against the Upper Arlingtons and the Hilliards and the Pickeringtons, and we're just not on those levels. I mean, we're just not on those levels. I mean, even the other schools, even their stadiums are better than ours. I mean, almost everything that they have is better than ours. So, and we just can't compete. I mean, I went to the Walnut Ridge and Big Walnut game, and I'm quite sure it looks like this in Texas. I've seen them a few times. I mean, Big Walnut had 100 kids over on the sideline. Columbus City schools probably average about 35 kids on varsity teams.
Yeah, you got just enough to make a roster.
Yeah. You have a whole lot of players playing both offense and defense, and the deeper you get into the play, well, you really don't even have to get that deep into the playoffs. You're playing teams who have a whole offense, a whole defense, special teams, and whereas in Columbus City, you're playing all of them. Your kickers, your punters, probably your quarterback or your running back, and they're just playing. They're playing everything. Like one of the best and smallest safeties in Columbus City League was the quarterback for Lyndon McKinley. I mean, this kid was like 5'8", 100, maybe 165 pounds, soaking wet. But he played free safety, and he came up, and I mean, he would lay some wood on you. And he ended up getting hurt at the end of the season, and not being as productive as he would have been if he only played quarterback.
Yeah. Let's bring our man Post Game of the Post Game 86 podcast in on this discussion as well. Maybe he can shed some light on how the state of Indiana do high school playoffs in football. But before we bring him in to discuss that, let's tackle these two questions real quick. Let's first, how you feeling this morning, Post Game?
Man, just up and ready to go rob this bank.
Okay. Hey, give me a couple of them dollars, baby.
I see you got your ski mask on. Doug had a statement out there that I think is pretty interesting. He says, in his opinion, Ohio high school football is the most underrated, disrespected in the nation. What's your thoughts on that statement, especially those of us who live here in the state of Ohio, who know that there's some really, really good football being played here in this state, and they produce a lot of really, really good talent in this state. What's your thoughts on what Doug just said right there? Then we'll go to Donnell's question. Then we'll talk the post game about Indiana football.
Let me jump on that real quick, because as an outsider from somebody who was in the know pretty well in Texas with high school football, I didn't know anything about Ohio. I mean, I knew Ohio played high school football, and I knew some of the teams and stuff like that were, good, because I kept up with like polls or whatever, USA Today and stuff. But being up here, you can see. I mean, yeah. I mean, are they the most disrespected? I don't know if they're the most disrespected, but they don't get the respect they deserve for sure. But I think almost a lot of states, when people look at high school football, they look at what they consider the big three still: California, Texas, Florida. So I think every state could say, Georgia could say we're disrespected. Indiana, Ohio, Utah, Arizona's produced some pretty good talent out of that Chandler High School out of there. So I mean, a lot of them could because they don't get the. But that's just my thing. Is I mean, yeah, there's probably some disrespect. Are they the most disrespected? I don't know, but people do sleep on it. I'll tell you that much. There's some good ball up here.
And that's where I would put it. I would put it more of people sleeping on it, and instead of like saying disrespected, because I mean the states that are in front of Ohio, I mean I probably wouldn't pass them. Now if we were fighting with Pennsylvania, yeah, now I want to fight. But if we were fighting with the Georgia, then I'm like, because Georgia produces really strong too, but Ohio really produces, and not only players, we produce coaches as well, and a lot of coaches come from the state of Ohio. And it's just I mean, there's a reason why the Hall of Fame is here in Ohio. This is a very rich football state. Now we may not have the stadiums that Texas and California and Florida has, but as far as the traditions and just football and a football Friday where you smell a grill and you smell some popcorn and you just have an amazing atmosphere, I would just say more that Ohio is slept on instead of disrespected. But I see where he could be coming with that too, though.
I have no clue. I mean, I think Ohio has always been a good spot for recruiting. Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida, Texas, California, Arizona. Those have been some great places to get recruits from. So
Yeah, and we had, I mean, we may not, we're not as big as Texas and California, but I mean, we have programs all throughout the state of Ohio that that uh, that produces. And at one point we had Walnut Ridge just excuse me, Walnut Ridge just right here in Columbus, in the capital city, in a city league team who was producing, Division I athletes year after year after year after year. And Brookhaven had a pretty nice run too before they closed that school down. And then you go outside, you have the Pickerington Central, the Pick Central and Pickerington North. They both produce. Pick Central produces a lot of Big Ten kids and a lot of Ohio State kids. St. Ignatius, both in Cleveland and Cincinnati. You have the Massillons and Akron, Hoban, Toledo Christians. I mean, it's Springfield. It's quite a few. I mean, almost every city, every county has a hot team that produces here in Ohio.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was just talking to Miss Melissa Graham, who follows Ohio high school football a lot, and she's from North Carolina, but since she's been living here in Columbus for maybe the last maybe 7 to 10 years, she follows high school football here. And there was a game yesterday that was scheduled to be at a stadium that only held like 7,000 people. The tickets sold out so fast that they moved the game to the Bingo Stadium, and they sold 20,000 tickets, bro. 20,000 for a high school football game. That's nuts. That is nuts.
And what's even more nuts is that's nothing in Texas.
That's nothing in
That's
Texas.
average. That's an average, and some people may call it small.
That's a regular season game. in Texas.
Yes. Right, right,
I
right.
mean, I'm not trying to downplay anything. That's just the facts of it. I mean, it is. And, you know, here's an example for you. Last year, 2 years ago, two teams played in it was a regional final. And it was Shiner, Texas versus Refugio, Texas. Both the towns combined are like 8,000 people combined in the whole city. There were 14,000 at the game. So that tells you 6,000 people from outside of those cities came to watch that game. So, I mean, yeah, 20,000, you're right. But, I mean, that's impressive. I don't care where you're at. I don't care if you're in Texas or whatever. But that's impressive to get 20,000 and have to move a whole venue.
Yeah, that's highly impressive for Ohio. For Ohio, that's highly impressive.
Yeah. Let's tackle Donnell's question real quick on Ohio high school football. He said, we don't have the depth with coaching positions. They have funding to hire coaches and scouts. He's saying that in other states they got money. Their coaches make a whole lot of money. Here in Ohio, especially in the city league, those coaches get a stipend, which is probably a couple of $1,000. Where you got other states, man, where their coaches are making 45, 50, 60, 70, 80.
No, no,
200,000.
Rob, yeah, I'm about to say down in Texas, like they make 100,000, and guess what? All they do is coach.
Coach.
They don't. They're not a teacher. You know what I mean? Or just a certified. A classified staff member. These coaches just coach and coach only, and get up to $100,000. Like they even have classes in school. That's a football class, and they basically go practice.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you spot on, T1. Spot on. They don't do it, but I will say this. They do get that kind of money at the bigger levels, of course. But yes, they don't teach a class, but they're not only just a high school coach. All of them are also considered athletic directors of that high school.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to set all the travel for girls volleyball, and they have to do all the travel arrangements. They have to make sure everything's spot on. So they have other things to do besides just sit in an office and watch film all day. But yeah, they don't go teach algebra or history. But yeah, easy. Katy High School, Gary Joseph, he makes, I'll promise you, that man makes 120, 130,000 a year. And then he gets bonuses for playoffs and wins in the playoffs and how far you go and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he never has to pay for any meals or anything in the city of Katy.
Right. Doug is saying Texas and Georgia are the best public school football. So post game, what is it like in the state of Indiana when it comes to the high school football playoffs? Do they have a ranking system, or do they got divisions? How does it work?
So in high school football, the state of Indiana, you got your 5A, 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A, 5A being the best teams. That's normally your Penn high schools. I don't know if y'all heard of Penn. They produce a lot of talent. Notre Dame probably has a stranglehold on that high school as far as basketball and football. But the better teams in Indiana are normally from Indianapolis. Every now and then the South Bend schools will win a championship or two, but mainly the talent is consolidated in the bigger Indianapolis area. Your Pikes and places, your Carmels, places like that. I haven't really been too keen on the high school scene lately. I know my alma mater has produced guys like Garrett Dieter, who played for Kansas City with Pat Mahomes. And guys like, of course, you can't forget Skylar Diggins on the basketball side. Uh, but I haven't really been on the high school scene too heavy. But that is the what I just explained. That's about all I know.
Yeah, I remember.
And I look at, and I'm quite sure everybody else does. Indiana, that's a basketball state.
Yeah, yeah. I remember Austin Mack, who was wide receiver at Ohio State. He was from Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I remember having a conversation with him when he messed his foot up and he was out for that period of time. And he was trying to bring awareness to the mental health of athletes when they get injured because, when you at the Ohio State University, when your time comes to play, you really can't afford to get injured, especially at the wide receiver position, because there's a guy behind you that's waiting to get his turn too. And so he was struggling a little bit at the fact that he couldn't get on the field, and it was his turn. And he's a really, really good football player. In fact, he's one of the best wide receivers in the CFL right now. And he was just speaking to how his mental health took a hit because he wasn't able to get out there on the field to get his opportunity to play because he had gotten injured. And of course, at Ohio State, you got wide receivers galore, and he really didn't get a chance to see the field again. He ended up getting a tryout in the NFL with the Titans. He made their practice squad for a little bit, but he ended up landing in the CFL, where he's doing really, really well in the CFL. I think they even won a title in the CFL maybe a year or two ago. Let's turn the tables a little bit, and I don't know how much NBA y'all been watching so far, but LeBron is back in the lineup. How's he looking so far? How's my GOAT looking?
Yeah, I want to hear this one because I didn't get to see his introduction to the 26 season.
I mean, he didn't look bad. He I think the dynamics of that team has changed a little bit. I think Luka is the face of that team right now. Austin Reeves has came along. LeBron James is probably the third option right now. I mean, but when your third option can drop, 20 and 10 assists, we'll take that. Uh, he's looking okay. I don't think he'll be better than he was last year, but he'd probably be the same or worse. He's getting up there in age, and there's nothing wrong with that. So LeBron looking all right. I still don't see them winning the West. The West is too young, too athletic. The Oklahoma City Thunder look like they're primed to repeat. They've been dominating without their second best player this whole season. So I look for SGA to not only get another championship, but get another MVP, his second MVP in a row. Probably should be his third. And he's going to be mentioned with a lot of great players.
I agree with that right there. Do you know how many points Bron had last night or the other night whenever he played?
I want to say 10 or 12.
Yeah, 10 and 11. Yeah,
10
10,
and 11. 10 and
10
11.
points,
Yeah.
11 assists, maybe 5 rebounds, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think that should be his role, man. I mean, I really think he should be on his farewell tour, even if he's gonna stay in LA for
Right.
this year, he should be on his farewell tour because that's what he got to be reduced to. You got to be reduced, and it's not a bad thing, but this is the role you got to play in a young man's game, man. I mean, the West, like Folks said, is very, very young. Go ahead, do your farewell tour because for the rest of your career, you're going to be an assist man. That's going to be it. You're not going to be the guy that's going to be doing the scoring for your ball club. And I think he should go ahead and do his farewell tour, man, and go ahead and end his career. I wish he would have done it in Cleveland, but I mean, LA is cool too. But I think he should go ahead and hang it up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Post on this one. I mean, it's Luka's team now.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody knew that when they got Luka over there, that was going to shift the guard to try to. And again, it's not a bad thing. It's father time. He's undefeated. Okay, so it is going to turn into Luka's team, and you got Austin Reeves over there. So I don't think it's a bad thing. I think LeBron needs to understand. That's the biggest question: is can he understand his role? And I think LeBron is mature enough to understand. I don't have to be the big dog on this team. I can pump the brakes and just kind of come in and fill and do my thing. So I think, that's how he has to look at it. And I'm pretty sure he will, because he knows that's probably going to be the best chance for them to win a championship. If him and Luka start fighting over the ball and who's going to score the most, that team's going to start falling down.
Yeah.
But
what do y'all think about?
I saw the Mavericks are entertaining trade options for Anthony Davis.
Oh yeah. I don't blame him.
I don't either. Maybe they should try to trade him to Los Angeles for Luka. I don't know.
Yeah. What do y'all
Dallas
think?
would lose their whole organization for that trade. That was if that wasn't the most under the table alley oop, that just made zero sense. Everybody know Anthony Davis is Glass Joe, and you trade him for the next, one of the leaders of the NBA. I mean, just absolutely mind blowing. I just feel like they played in our face with that. In no way, in no world, do you trade a Luka for Anthony Anthony Davis? In no world. That's just lets me just confirms how I feel about sports, and it's bogus. And they work together, and it's almost like that Saquon Barkley to Philadelphia last year. That right there was, like you give up nothing and send him right to someone who he can help go to a Super Bowl, and that's what they did.
Yeah. That trade that Dallas did with LA reminded me of when Philly gave up Brad Doherty, the chance to draft Brad Doherty for Jeff Rulin. I'm like, crazy. We probably would have went back to back too. What do y'all think about Wemby being out for a few weeks? How would this affect the Spurs? Because he came in hot, man. How would that affect them Spurs and the chemistry and all that of that ball club?
It
Well,
sucks. Go ahead,
go
Pope.
ahead. Oh, my bad. This is why I said, you got to pump the brakes on Wemby. I know everyone is excited. I was excited. We understand the type of talent, the unique blend of size, athleticism, the ability to handle the basketball. He's just an alien. He's a freak. Uh, but this is why I said you got to pump the brake on the young man, because we don't know how many games he's going to play year in and year out. And then do we get to a point where the injuries have taken so much of a toll on his body to where he's a shell of himself in the next few years? But the Spurs have a nice little young team. They got some nice guards. They've been okay without Wemby, man. They really, you got to take your hats off to the Spurs as an organization, because they really do a good job managing that team and building that roster. They got some talent on that team. And of course, they ain't gonna go too far without Wemby. They definitely need him to get healthy, because he's the best player on that team, one of the better players in the league. So they need him to get healthy, and the Spurs will be fine. But the question is can he remain healthy? And that's the only thing when it comes to Wemby.
See, I think Wemby, and I said this numerous times, Wemby is a phenomenal basketball player, but he's Luka Doncic. He can do anything on the court he needs to, but he can't stay healthy. But you're right about the organization in San Antonio. That's like a gold star organization, the way they run that thing down there. Ever since they've had, the Admiral and Tim Duncan, and you know, they just built that roster to what they want it to be. They don't need the splashy hire, the splashy kid. They want a culture fit in San Antonio, and that's what they draft, and it works out for them. But you spot on 100%. They'll be good without Wemby. They'll be okay, but they're not going to be a title threat or anything without him at all.
Yeah, I think this is really not good for the NBA. Wemby is one of the young up and coming superstars, and for this to just be year two, we don't want to see another Anthony Davis where he's getting hurt year in and year out, and he's not really able to reach that full potential of being that leader, that superstar leader that leads his team to a finals or to a championship or even to a conference championship right now at this point early in his career. But a player of his stature, you know, in and out with injuries is that wouldn't be good for the NBA. So I think it's kind of bad and kind of sad because those of us who've been watching the NBA for a minute, we see it coming. We see it coming with him just being injured year in and year out because his bones not being able to, handle all of that running up and down the court.
Yeah, it's starting to remind me of Yao Ming, man, and how Yao Ming couldn't get his feet together. He kept on having all these feet injuries, having that kind of size, and then having that kind of weight on him. And Yao Ming was so talented, much like you see with Wemby. Of course, Wemby can do everything. He's guy has more skill sets than Yao Ming, but Yao Ming was tough back in the days when he was playing. And it sort of reminds me of that. And I hope that this young man can, whatever it is that he could do, maybe he needs to change his diet. I don't know. But when you're that tall and you got that kind of skill set and you're trying to do the things on the court like a guard, sometimes your bones just don't move that way. Your muscles just don't move that way for you. So hopefully he can figure something out, man, and can stay on the court because he is a dynamic guy to watch.
I gotta ask y'all because I know I've been watching the NBA for a very long time. Y'all been watching the NBA for a very long time. It sucks playing NBA fantasy because every single night someone's out. What
Yeah.
is the difference, man? Because back in the day, players wasn't missing games like this, and you would think with the difference in medicine, with the upgrades in our medical fields, that this wouldn't be the case. What the heck is the difference?
I think it's the wear and tear that is on these young men's bodies by the time they get to the NBA. They're playing so much AAU ball that you know these guys are going into maybe that 1 year college where they just got done playing 50, 60 games, 70, 80 games in the previous season. I'm surprised that LeBron didn't get hurt as much as he probably could have because the amount of games that he played, like just at the beginning of his career, I mean, he went all the way into June, like for the first, I don't know how many years of his career. Then he was playing in the Olympics. I just think I think the AAU is tearing up basketball a little bit, and these kids they're playing too much. They're playing too much basketball.
So you think the AAU circuit is ruining basketball, not only culturally but physically?
Yeah, I think that they are playing way too many games, and it's starting at an early age. Like you have fourth and fifth graders right now playing, you know, 30, 30, 40 AAU games a year. And now they even have fall leagues. So it's not just AAU, like it's basketball is pretty much year round here in the state of Ohio, and it wasn't like that when we were in high school.
See, I I agree with you post game too, though, and UT won. But I'm wondering, does pace of play have a lot to do with it now? Go back to, I say the older days. Go back 10 years ago. You weren't seeing 130 to 125 games. You
Right.
go back to the 90s with the Bulls and even the Pistons, all them when they were, those dynasties back then. A good game for them was 97.
97, 92.
You didn't, 100 points was like exciting back then. Now, if you don't get 100, you're not going to have a chance to win the game most nights. So I don't know if that has something to do with it, but I agree with you. I used to do fantasy everything, basketball, baseball. I haven't touched fantasy basketball since they started this load management stuff. I got a lineup. I got Luca. I got him. And all of a sudden they all sit. So,
me and my high school buddies had a conversation the other day, and maybe they're overtraining as well, because we talked about us growing up. We didn't train. All we did is went right over there to that rec center, and the homies, we ran that 5-on-5 just all day and all night as much as we could. Wasn't no training, all of these drills and all of it, and wasn't even hardly no lifting weights. You know what I mean? Not for basketball and football, yeah, but as far as basketball, maybe they're overtraining as well, because like I say, just the amount of mileage that some of these young men have on their legs is high. It's high. You really, really have young kids right here, right now in the AAU circuit, and they have the top fifth grader, the top sixth grader in the country, the top seventh grader in the country. And for you to be able to be on that list, you have to be playing a whole lot of AAU basketball.
Yeah. It's almost seemed like that's become the prerequisite to even making it to a good school or even into the NBA, man. You got to play all of these AAU games. Otherwise, you're going to fall behind some guys. And maybe that's the sentiment that these players have. I got to play as much basketball as I can to get as good as I can get. But at the same time, they're wearing their bodies out, man. I agree with every point that has been made so far. I don't know what the answer is, but man, something has to give, man, because you're starting to see now that some of these athletes are starting to even get burnt out on the sport at an earlier age too. They're just getting to the point where they're pushing themselves so much that they're falling out of love with the sport that they love playing for so many years. And I think there got to be some kind of balance to it at some point. It can't
Man, you can play
always
10 games. You could play a AAU weekend. A kid can play 10 games in a weekend.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's nuts. That's nuts.
and FYI, that weekend is not Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's
Right.
Saturday, Sunday. Okay.
Right. Right. Yeah. Is it too early? Can OKC repeat?
Absolutely. Absolutely. They're young and just looking at them, absolutely. And to me, they should be the favorite.
They're by far the favorite right now for sure. But the topic we just talked about, injury. So if they stay healthy, I don't see anybody beating Oklahoma City. They look filthy right
Yeah, I agree with the fellas. Oklahoma City they definitely can repeat. Again, they haven't even had not one game this year without their second best player in J Dub. I think what SGA is doing is special. And I think just this is just my opinion, but I think SGA is a little disrespected because anytime I hear people bring up the best players in the NBA right now, I rarely hear SGA. I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if y'all feel the same, but I don't think people talk about SGA as being the best player in the NBA as much as I think they would, because what he's doing is absolutely special. He's on pace to win the MVP and get another championship. So I think he's a tad bit disrespected.
Do you?
I
Do you?
think I agree. I agree with that, and I don't think that when you ask who's the best player right now, is not Shea coming out first, and it probably should be.
But do you think some of that's the market he plays in?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Come on, Ava, close it.
If he was in if he was in L.A. or New York, I mean, he'd be talked about every 20 seconds. But because he's in the middle of nowhere, Oklahoma, even though it's Oklahoma City, I think that's the problem is he just doesn't get the notoriety because of where he plays. But I think he
I
loves it
agree.
there. I'm not saying he wants to go to another big market. I think that market fits him perfectly, and he loves it there.
I agree. His market has a lot to do with it, but you would think people who are just basketball heads, even from that crew, I'm not hearing SGA as much as I thought I would have. Like the people who, okay, just people who love the NBA amongst y'all circles. I don't think even those guys, those group of guys or women, are talking about SGA like he should be talked about.
Let me throw this question at y'all real quick and get y'all's thoughts on it. Just looking at the landscape of the NBA right now, and the fact that the Olympics comes up in 2028, will U.S. basketball win that gold medal when it comes 2028?
I don't know because we know the OGs won't be there to save them. So this is strictly be the young G's out here, and the foreigners have caught up to our game. They've caught up to our game, and they're extremely long and extremely athletic. So I'm not so sure, but it's going to be interesting to see how our young talent evolves because the Europeans and these foreigners they taking spots.
Yeah, I agree. The NBA planted this seed years ago, and we watching it blossom before our eyes, gentlemen. They definitely expanded the game overseas, and we see the fruits of that labor. Uh, I don't. My money is not on the NBA when it comes to to the United States. I should say when it comes to Olympics in a couple of years. I don't think the NBA has the dogs that we once did to say basketball belongs to us. Y'all always gonna be second to us, and the gold medal is already spoken for. Whatever medal is left, y'all can take those. I think those days are over.
Hey, y'all, real quick, watch this. Name the top players in the NBA right now.
Yeah.
Foreigners,
You stole my thunder.
foreigners at the top with LeBron and KD and Steph and all them on their way out. All of our top players are foreigners.
That's exactly where I
Most
was
of
going.
them.
Is Luka's not playing for the U.S. Luka's playing for Slovenia. Wimby's going to play for France. More than likely, I mean,
Yeah, Shea gonna play for Canada. Giannis gonna play for France.
for
I
Greece.
mean, for Greece.
Greece.
There's
Yeah,
it is you exact the The Dream Team back in the day started this process. It made basketball global when they were going to Barcelona and all that with Jordan and Barkley, and it was such a sideshow that it made these young kids over there be like, man, I want to be like that. And now those young kids are Wimby and stuff like that. The days of, you right, Post, the days of the USA just going to the Olympics and leaning over and getting the gold medal on day one for basketball is over. Can they win it? Yeah, they can win it. But we just talked about injuries and load management. How many guys in the NBA are going to be like, nah, I need to be prepared for the NBA championship?
Who's our center?
Well, yeah. I mean, but
that's what I want to know. Who's our center? Who's that U.S. center that's going to have to go against all these 7-footers, 7-2ers, and 7-3ers?
Right, and there's that aspect of it. But I mean, again, how many are going to say, the NBA season is more important to me to win a championship? I'm going to have to decline the invitation for USA basketball.
And all of the foreigners, they take that world basketball stuff very extremely serious. They rather win that just as much as they won an NBA trophy.
100%. Even back in the day after the Dream Team stuff, Michael Jordan came out and said how excited he was to play on the Dream Team to represent the United States. You don't see that anymore. But yeah, these kids from Luka from Slovenia, that means the world to that dude. If he can get Slovenia into the semifinals or the gold medal game, or hell, win the gold medal, man, he'd be more of a star than he is in his country.
Yeah. Well, let's take a pivot and talk a little bit of NFL action. What team or teams are looking really good right now in the NFL as we go on the back stretch of the NFL season? Who's out there looking really good to you right now that you think can make a run, possibly can make it to the Super Bowl?
New England.
I don't know.
New England was slept on, and I think they're just putting it and saying, nah, we're still here. We had a couple years, but nah, we're still New England. We know how to run a franchise.
I'm not sure that I'm believing what I'm seeing in the NFL right now. And what I mean when I say that is I'm not ready to put my money on New England. I'm not ready to put my money on Indianapolis. And I'm not ready to count out Kansas City or Buffalo. It's not a lot of football left because we're already now past the halfway point. But I don't know what I'm seeing right now. I don't know if we're getting some parity in the NFL, but as of right now, I don't know who I can trust right now. This team seems to be wide open. Wide open. Anybody can get it this year. I think anybody can win this thing this year.
Good point.
Except for the Titans.
Or the Bengals, or the Browns, or the Jets.
I would say there's some interesting teams out there. Baltimore and Cincinnati. Baltimore, I think I got my eye on them. I got my eye on Cincinnati just for the simple fact. You got Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and that three right there can win a lot of shootouts. We know we know they're not gonna stop anybody, but that offense would be crazy if Joe Burrow reunites with his receivers. New England, I'm not 100% sold on them. I definitely want to see them. And Buffalo may have fallen off a little bit, but they might win that division. Kansas City, this matchup against Indianapolis is going to be telling this Sunday. I believe it really is. We're going to really find out how good the Colts are. we're gonna find out if Kansas City is out of there or not. So that's gonna be a huge game. One team I think people are sleeping on just based on the moves they've made on defense is Dallas. We know Dallas and Dak Prescott are going to score, but getting Quentin Williams and that middle linebacker from Cincinnati and getting healthy on the back end of that defense looks like it has done wonders for that team. So I'm with T1. I believe it's wide open, and we'll see how it shakes out. But it's a few teams that are very interesting.
I'm actually also kind of curious if the defense keeps playing like it does. That Houston team's pretty scary. And you get C.J. Stroud back with them receivers healthy, get any kind of running game going, man.
Well, I told y'all Thursday. I believe I was the only one who picked Houston.
No,
like that defense. Is that me and Zay?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that defense. Zay saw what I saw.
Yep.
That defense is legit. I believe they sacked old boy like 8 times.
Yeah, they went crazy Thursday. They went crazy. They looked like one of the top defenses Thursday, and they actually had Josh Allen out there looking like Shador. He was running backwards a lot.
I think Shador gonna play well this week, T1.
He gonna ball. He gonna ball.
Yeah, that would be cool. Is the New England Patriots the biggest surprise of the season so far?
I think them in Indianapolis are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Down both of them. You have to put both of them in a conversation when you talk about the surprises, because I mean nobody saw either one of those teams doing what they're doing right now. That's what we expected, Buffalo and Kansas City to look like, but it's Indianapolis and New England. And it's impressive right now. I just don't trust it.
Yeah, I will also throw the Rams in there off the simple fact that we knew they were going to have a really good offense. Did we think they'll be leading the NFC and their defense to be playing this well? They're looking like a clear cut. Now, if there's one clear cut Super Bowl favorite that you can trust right now, it's probably the Rams.
Hey, but who thought Carolina would look like this though, too?
Yeah, Carolina.
What about Carolina? Throw Carolina out there, because I don't think I had them looking the same way they looked last year, not winning a lot of games at all.
Is Bryce Young the quarterback?
Say that again.
Is Bryce Young the quarterback in Carolina?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he's been.
But he had been hurt.
Yeah, wasn't he out with a concussion or something?
Yeah, he was out, and was it Andy Dalton in there balling for him?
Yeah.
The Red Raven?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Katy High School, baby. Katy High School.
But to his credit, man, I think Bryce Young is coming off his career game last week. I think he threw for over 400 yards in that game.
Right.
So we'll see if he can keep that momentum going. Because him and Tet McMillan, I always say McMillan, but McMillan, the rookie wide receiver, he's been balling also.
We'll flip that question a little bit. Who's your biggest disappointment?
Atlanta Falcons.
That's a good one. I would say Kansas City.
That's where I was thinking the inconsistencies out of Kansas City just don't seem right.
Yeah. I have one. Hey. I have one I could put out there, but I don't know if a whole lot of people were high on them. But I thought the Raiders would have been better this year than they're doing. I thought they would have been. But another impressive team that we left out, I do believe, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, they're playing really good.
That's a surprise. That's one of those surprise teams that has jumped out this year as well to me.
Yeah, Denver's a good one.
Yep.
I'm disappointed in Dallas too. I mean, because Dallas is usually a regular season team,
Right.
Yeah.
and they haven't even been that. So can Dallas squeak enough wins to get into the playoffs and become a playoff team?
I'm
That'd be something to watch.
not gonna lie, I'm disappointed in the way Houston played.
Yeah,
Houston was, I
early,
mean, you go out
early.
and get, well, yeah, you go out and get, yeah, early. I mean, they're playing better now, but I mean, you go out and get Christian Kirk to help with that. You've got receivers everywhere. I know Stroud's been injured, but even when Stroud was playing, they were still not. They looked so out of sync.
Yeah, he started off really
But
bad.
now that defense is coming on. Okay, now we got D'Amico Ryans was going to get that defense rolling, but you got the defense playing good. So now when he comes back, I don't want to say this about any player, but all he's got to do is be above average. And if that defense plays like that, they're going to wind up on a run.
I think not having Joe Mixon healthy this year really hurt that team because what Ryans wants to do on offense is run the ball first, and that sets up everything else. But they've been solid with Woody Marks and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb obviously isn't what he used to be, but that combination of Woody Marks and Nick Chubb has been solid. But I think the thing that made them get off to a slow start was the injury to Joe Mixon.
Yeah, I think that was a really good point about Kansas City and Dallas. You got two teams that knew they had some Achilles heels the season before, and they didn't really address those Achilles heels, man. And it's like you can't be a top-notch organization in the NFL and you don't go out and address those issues, man. And for another year, Dallas did not address their issue, and Kansas City didn't address that running attack, man, the way they needed to. You can't think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be able to keep working the magic that he worked 3, 4 years ago. They're going to have to start addressing those issues because he's getting older and he ain't going to be able to do those same things as teams catch up defensively on whatever the coach is scheming up for them. So, Andy Reid, I think they need to go ahead and address some of them issues, man, if they want to make another Super Bowl run. What should Ole Miss's position be on Lane Kiffin? I know they're going to address this after the Egg Bowl and see what's going on with this whole Lane Kiffin thing because he is the buzz right now out of all the coaches, and it's almost like he's the first domino that needs to fall before this whole coaching carousel thing gets worked out. What should Ole Miss's position be on Lane Kiffin?
Throwing him the bag, whatever he wants to make sure that they can keep him there and not send him to another SEC team and watch them have the success that he's having right now at their university.
I agree. I think they got to do what it takes to keep him in Mississippi. Uh, I, I just don't know what's going to happen though. I don't know. Maybe them announcing that there's going to be an announcement is the sign that he's leaving. I don't know. I would want to know what y'all thought about that. But if I'm Mississippi, man, I'm doing everything it takes to keep him there because I think they can build on the success they got this year and really turn that to a juggernaut in the SEC possibly.
Go ahead, Robert. I'll go last. I got some information on this.
Oh, okay. If I'm Ole Miss, I'm saying to Lane Kiffin, listen, what do you want? What do you need to stay here? So at least we know we got a basis to determine whether or not we can provide those things for you. And if we can't, then we gotta go ahead and part ways. But I think at this point, with all of this stuff swirling around about him possibly going elsewhere, I need to know as an Ole Miss organization. I need to know, hey man, what's your plans? What would you like to do? And if we can't keep you here, if we ain't got the resources to do so, then we got to send you packing. But we need to be thinking about who we gonna get to replace you if you're gonna be going elsewhere.
So it came out that the AD made a statement yesterday too after all this and said that they are offering a compensation package equal to what Florida and LSU are doing, which then puts the ball in Lane's court as to, okay, if the money's the same, do I stay here? Do I want to go to quote unquote Florida LSU, a dream school? So here's the thing, and this is where it gets tricky with Ole Miss is I get making the announcement after the Egg Bowl, but that's more for the fans than anybody else. If you're Ole Miss and behind those closed doors that Kiffin's coming back, I don't make an announcement after the Egg Bowl. I let Florida and LSU hang on longer and let some of these coaches that are on their hot board get snagged up, and then they're stuck with me as their head football coach. Which is fine because I'll recruit all y'all. We'll all go make a bag down there. We'll get fired in 1 year, but that's fine. That's if I'm Ole Miss, I don't worry about making an announcement. He's under contract anyway. If I'm Ole Miss, I would let him leave if he wants to leave. Not say we're gonna mutually agree to part ways. So that's one stance I take on it is that would be my angle, is to just kind of screw the rest of the other two schools, technically three schools if you want to throw Auburn in the mix. I don't know. I'm stuck on this one because of the announcement after the Egg Bowl. It doesn't make sense. I find it hard to believe he leaves going into a playoff run. Mm-hmm. I find that very hard to believe. I also find it harder to believe that they would say, yes, we know you're going to leave, but you can coach out the rest of the playoff run. I don't see that happening either. So, we're going to find out more. I mean, obviously, it's probably the best thing to do is to say that, because you can always go back and say, well, we've had more discussions and we're going to postpone the announcement another week. Oh, we're going to postpone it another week. You can always do that. But at least now this takes all of the off the table so they can prep for the Egg Bowl against Mississippi State, which shouldn't be a close game, but it's a rival game. So now all the distraction is out off the table. So that's my stance on the whole Ole Miss thing.
I wonder if the fact that his son plays quarterback at a high school there in Ole Miss, if that's going to have a factor. Do you want to uproot your son and take him somewhere else to play and have to compete against somebody else who probably already have their quarterback? Will he stay at Ole Miss just to make it easier for his son, who's already made some strides at whatever high school he is at as the high school quarterback there? I wonder if that's going to play a role in his decision too.
I think his son's a freshman.
Yeah, he's a freshman, yeah.
So it's not – if his son was a junior going into his senior year, that might make something. But even then, Lane could move to Florida and his wife could still stay there and his son could finish out his senior year at his high school. Mm-hmm. I've seen that happen numerous times. But as a freshman, I mean, if he moves down to Gainesville and finds a high school that his son likes, you really think that coach is going to say that the head coach of the Florida Gators' son can't even compete for the starting position? He's going to have every opportunity to be the starting quarterback down there. So there's numerous different things. I don't think his son's high school has anything to do with it. Like Zay said the other day, Lane Kiffin likes to move around.
Yeah, that's true. Don't he got ties to Florida too? Didn't he graduate from there or something? I
don't know if I think he, not necessarily Florida, but I think he's got ties to the state of Florida for sure.
Oh, okay. Mossberger Level Up Sports 10 post game. He got five-finger discount on his mind, bro. That's why he dressed like that. He ain't dressed for the weather. He got five-finger discount on his mind. Do y'all think that the media puts these coaches in bad spots with all of this pub about they going here and there and saying this and that? This coach is going to the NFL or all this other stuff. While these guys are still coaching these college players, they're still out there recruiting. Does the media put these coaches in bad spots?
I don't think so. I think they actually help them. I think they actually help their market value, and all the coaches have to do is just sit back and watch the schools, the universities, the teams, fight over them. Like Lane Kiffin right now, he winning. He winning. He has not just one or two options. He got three options, and could have a fourth. I'm quite sure if he want it, but he's just sitting back and loving life. And look at Franklin. He chose to go to Virginia Tech and say bump the money that Penn State owes me. I still can go make my money. I still can coach my football and still, just live the life I've been living. So I think they're actually helping the coaches.
I mean, I'm kind of indifferent on this because, I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know a coach is on the hot seat. Ray Charles could see James Franklin was in trouble. Ray Charles could see that these other schools with vacancies were going to come calling for Lane Kiffin. So, I mean, I'm indifferent on it.
So you got good points, T1. You got really good points on that, where it does help them marketability. Do the media put them in bad spots? I don't think so. I mean, if the media puts a lot of people in bad spots, but let's just call it what it is. Hey, are you going to be the coach next year at Ole Miss? Yes. I have no desire to leave. I'm not leaving. I'm staying here. So the media is made to ask the questions. How does the coach answer it? Is he going to lie to the media? Possibly. Nick Saban did. Nick Saban said, I have no desire for the Alabama job. And 2 days later, where was he? At the Alabama job. So, I mean, it happens all the time. But, I mean, if the coaches would just answer the question, whether it's truthful or not, it's not a bad spot. The media is made to ask the questions, and it's up to you how you answer them. But as far as marketability, yeah, if Lane Kiffin got a nickel for every time his name's been mentioned in the last 3 weeks, he wouldn't have to worry about coaching. He could go buy like Bermuda just off them nickels.
Yeah, I think sometimes it might put those coaches in a bad spot in their locker room, man, in terms of players who wanted to come and play under them or at that university under them, and and recruits like, I wanted to come and play for this guy, even though because I think nowadays you do got players who want to play for a specific university, but then you got players who want to play for a specific coach who they want to be developed under, because they've seen what that coach was able to do in terms of sending guys to the NFL. And I think sometimes that might put them in a bad position in their locker room, having to dispel the rumor that they're thinking about going elsewhere. I know as a Texas fan, and all this stuff surrounding Steve Sarkisian going to the NFL or going somewhere else, he did put a statement out saying that he has not talked to anybody in the NFL or any other schools and has no intentions on leaving Texas. He came to win championships. I think that helped ease my mind a little bit because I want Steve Sarkisian to be the coach at Texas. I believe Texas wants Steve Sarkisian to be the coach at Texas, but I think the media putting some of that stuff out there has really riled up those Texas fans, and Texas fans can be some pretty I'm gonna just say unpredictable people sometimes because they can be pretty mean and nasty sometimes, man. And I hate the fact that when the media put that stuff out there, they get some of these fans riled up and they get to talking crazy. But I hope that the media. I mean, they got to do their job. It's their job to report that stuff. Anything that, even if it's not the truth, that's just the way of the media. So I just hope coaches can start to handle this thing a little bit better by just putting a statement out saying this or that, even though they might not be telling the truth.
Just two quick little follow-ups on your points, Rob, which were good points, by the way. But remember, what the coach tells the media ain't what he's telling them players.
Yeah, that's true.
I promise you that. Those players at Ole Miss may know Kiffin's leaving, and they may have been told you don't say anything or you ain't playing.
Yeah.
So he may have told them, hey, let's just let this train ride. I'm not going anywhere. Let's just, if they ask you, say, he ain't said nothing to us, just move on. But as far as like, and this isn't just about Sark, this is about everybody, but since you brought up Sark, I'll bring him up. I didn't see his whole comment, but did he stated that he hasn't talked to anybody in the NFL?
Well, his agent, no? I guess.
Okay, because I was fixing to say, if Sark said he ain't talked to nobody in the NFL, that don't mean nothing because he ain't talking to him anyway. His agent is.
Yeah.
Okay. So now if he said his agent ain't talked to nobody, that's one thing. Yeah. But I ain't talked to nobody about going to the NFL either. But maybe T1 working on something in the background for me,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, and too, Rob, look at our quarterback at Ohio State. He wanted to play for Saban. If Nick Saban stays at Alabama, Justin Sane is staying at Alabama as well. He wanted to play for Nick Saban. And as soon as Nick left, he followed and he came up here to Ohio State, and glad that Saban left.
That's a really good point.
Yeah, 20 years ago, you went to a school because of the school.
Yeah.
Now, maybe 30%, 40% go to the school because of the school. But most of them, it's a coach.
Yeah, that's profound because you look at a school like Notre Dame. Notre Dame, we talked about in the chat the bad coaching hires they had in the 2000s. Well, I ain't going to say Brian Kelly was a bad coach, but he wasn't a coach that was the best fit for Notre Dame. But you look at a guy like Marcus Freeman. I've never seen Notre Dame in my lifetime get the kind of recruits we're getting, and it's all because of Marcus Freeman. Now, Notre Dame brings a lot of value with their diplomas, but we weren't getting the type of players we have now until Marcus Freeman stepped on the scene.
I mean, go ahead, D. Go ahead.
I'm gonna say this too. Brian Hartline is a year or two away from being out of Ohio State, and we're not going to have a drop off from as we see that players also follow coaches. Hartline is going to get. I believe that Hartline wants to be a head coach, and I don't know how successful he'll be at that head coaching position, because I don't know how successful I want to say that he is as an offensive coordinator right now. But he's going to leave, and what you would think would be a hole left in our program, it won't be, because just as you see, we seem to make the right hires at these positions. Like Patricia came in, we thought we'd lost a really, really good defensive coordinator, and here we go. We're plugging And I could see the same thing happening in that wide receiver room if Hartline decides to go on and take up one of these head coaching jobs somewhere. But we're a program. We're a little different, and I wouldn't see all of our receivers following Hartline.
100%. I mean, Hartline's name's starting to get floated more and more and more for the Arkansas job. But what I was going to pop in and say was, y'all exactly right. Post, you are point on with Freeman. That's exactly where I was going. The best coach in Texas that fits the culture for Texas, the university, or Texas University, was Mac Brown. Mac Brown knew how to hold the donors' hands, kiss the babies, all that political stuff. Tom Herman didn't. Charlie Strong didn't. Sark, I don't know yet. It's still up in the air with that one. I don't think he is as keen on the boosters as he probably should be, but whatever. Jimbo wasn't a culture fit for A&M. Yes, Jimbo's a hell of a recruiter, but he can't develop anything. So you're right with culture and fit. In Ohio State, you spot on with that, T. Straight. You make the right hires. Everybody thought, Ohio State's defense is going to go backwards. It's going to go backwards. They lost Jim Knowles, best DC in college football. Yeah, no. They're better.
Yeah, that's a fact. All those are really good points. Y'all got anything else y'all want to add before we go ahead and end the stream? Do y'all got any upsets today? I need everybody that's 10 through 16 to take an L. So those are my upsets. Y'all got anybody y'all think gonna get upset today?
Hold on, let me get my get my game schedule up, and I'm gonna give you probably about 85 upsets.
Hey T1, you being a Big Ten guy, and I don't think you was on the stream for our picks on Thursday, but how do you see that Oregon USC game going? That's a really big game probably the biggest game on the slate.
Oregon, and I wish that USC could find a way to pull that game out, but I don't think that they're at that level yet, and that's going to most likely knock them out of the playoff race, which is really unfair. That the Big Ten isn't getting that same type of love for the fights that's going on within our conference, and Oregon could pretty much knock USC up out of here. And I've even heard some crazy talk too, where they said if Oregon was to lose, and this would only be their second loss, with them even talking about Oregon possibly not making the playoff, which is just ridiculous to me, to say that a two-loss Big Ten team could potentially be out of the playoffs. That's just crazy to me. But I think that Oregon is going to win its game rather easily, and I say easy, I'm saying maybe 6 points, 8 points or something, possibly 10. Should be a good game though. I would love for USC to actually pull it out, but I think Oregon's going to do it.
Upsets. You got Kleenex, Rob?
Uh-oh.
No, I don't need no Kleenex. I did my crying already.
Right. Arkansas's beating Texas today.
No, they're not winning. They're not winning.
Arkansas's beating Texas today.
It's not
telling you. Pitt's beating Georgia Tech. I don't even remember who I picked on Thursday anymore, but I've done a lot more research. Georgia Tech has like 115th pass defense.
Yeah.
That's not good. Florida beats Tennessee.
And that would be an upset, wouldn't it?
Yes and no. I mean, Tennessee hasn't won at Florida since 2003. And I think I picked BYU in this game, but I'm wavering on it. I think I'm leaning Cincinnati to upset BYU, which would help Rob out. I think I went with BYU just so that they would stay ahead of Texas, because anybody that stays ahead of Texas is a friend of mine.
Sure.
And I was wrong. The line in our game is we are favored by 54.5 now, and the over-under is 59.5.
Who the world are y'all playing? Oh, this that week when them SEC teams would be playing Otterbein and Franklin and Capital.
We're playing Samford, which I'm going to tell y'all something. Samford getting a little salty with A&M. I told y'all the other day their most famous alumni was Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher's son is the kicker at Samford. They made him a captain. I mean, I'm like, what are we doing here? Really? Y'all? So I said, okay, that's fine. Those are some I've got. I don't see Missouri upsetting Oklahoma, but that could be a really good game. But I really do. I think Texas is going to struggle with Arkansas's power running game. Those running backs at Arkansas are big, dude.
Yeah, they're big.
They're big. And Taylor Green is just a freak.
Yeah. We'll see how it goes. Mossberg, you might as well go ahead and iron that Ohio State shirt, bro. Put it on a hanger, because you might as well get ready to wear that sucker, man, because y'all not making no bowl game. Go ahead, get it ready.
Yeah, Moss, I did some more research looking on stuff after Thursday. I got to switch him. He even said that's 2 picks I've switched, but I got to. I had done a bunch more research and looked up some numbers. Got to go with it. I will tell you, I took Rutgers on a parlay with the spread.
Well, that's like Rutgers really. No, you took Rutgers with the points, but I could. Ohio State don't cover them points a lot, especially when they're at large.
I want to see what Ohio State. I want to see what Ohio State's offense. I want to see how that offense clicks without Smith and Tate.
I think they're going to make it a point to make it. I don't think either one of them are going to play today.
No, they're both out. They've both been ruled out today, which is smart. It's the right thing to do.
Yeah, we got a long season ahead of us. Might as well go ahead and sit them.
You need a break. I mean, I'm sorry. You those kids, we just talked about load management in the NBA. Those are, these guys are professional athletes too, but these are 18 to 22-year-old kids, man. You talk about load management for 30-year-old men. So don't take no chances. But yeah, I did. Trust me, I did a parlay with a bunch of crazy spreads, but I put $1 on it. That dollar pays out like 150 if it hits.
And I think I saw a little bit of NFL and a little bit of grooming in Jeremiah Smith last week, with him limping off the field the way that he did. I don't think he was that hurt. And these guys are getting paid millions of dollars now, so that means they also need to understand the whole game and how this thing works. And I really don't believe that his injury was as bad as he made it look for the camera. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, he's not playing next week. They're gonna rest him. He ain't playing. Tate ain't playing. So, yeah, I really didn't buy that he was like hurt like that. It was it just seemed like it just was too much of an emphasis on having that camera on him and him just limping, as if he almost needed to carry it to the locker room. Just my thought.
And I meant to mention this early, Rob, when you asked me the first question of the day about the football stuff. I'm just going to let everybody know, if they go check my channel, they'll see a high school bracket breakdown, and we get a little more in depth and stuff over there. Me and Doug, we're going to be doing another one after next weekend to kind of re-rack the bracket for the last 3 rounds to go through it.
Okay, cool. Anything else y'all want to add before we wrap up? We're right at an hour and 30 minutes.
Woo pig suey.
Woo pig suey.
Woo pig suey.
See, I got my Arkansas boy down here with me now, so now I got some backup.
You already know who I'm rolling with in that one.
I got you, brother. I'm with you.
I don't eat pork, but they're going to get cooked.
Well, I eat beef and y'all going to get cooked. How's that?
It is. We got a nice day with y'all next week after everybody eat all that turkey and stuff. Then, A&M going to get took out. And that's going to propel us into the college football playoff as the first 3-loss team to ever make the 12-team playoff. We write history.
I'm ready to get the next week. That's all I know. I'm ready. Can we get the next Saturday morning's podcast?
It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to be the first 3-loss team in the playoff, considering you're going to have 4 losses.
Yeah.
I mean,
y'all can't get in with 4, Sean. Rob.
Hey, I'm looking forward to T1 and Parlay Poe, FanDuel Zed going at it.
Oh yeah,
leading up to that big game, man. They finna go at it, man.
Listen, we're off all week. We're off all week.
Yeah.
So you already know what it's gonna be. Know what it's gonna be.
I got to work Monday, Tuesday, but I'm leaving Wednesday about 2 a.m. to drive down to Arkansas with my mom for Thanksgiving. So,
what part of Arkansas are you going to, Sean?
About an hour outside of Fayetteville, just south of Branson, Missouri.
What's it called?
Harrison, Arkansas.
Harrison, okay.
Yeah. So I'll be out Wednesday. I'll be driving. Thursday, of course, Thanksgiving. But I'm almost positive if anybody out there, you see them channels at the bottom, subscribe to them, because there's going to be some stuff going down next week across all these channels. I think the only one who ain't got a rival in the whole mix is Poth Game. Yeah, well, and Moss with his Florida State Notre Dame love. Not sure where he's at right now.
Poth Game got a rival. That dude sitting next to him. That's a rival. Independent versus the conference guy.
Right. Well, that's that rival, but Post game, just get to sit back and watch all the fireworks next week between all of us, especially you.
Get to enjoy it, live a good life.
Hold on now. Actually, technically, Stanford is a rival. They're not gonna give us much, but it is a rival.
Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that one.
I think y'all, from the outside to me, y'all's rival is probably USC, and that's just looking from the outside.
No, you 100% correct. That's our main rival.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Them in Michigan. But Boston College, Stanford, those are rivalry games. We play for trophies when we play those teams.
Hey, post game. Is that a beard mask that you have on? A beard mask?
A who?
A beard. Is that for your what you have on your head? What's going on today, man? Is that one of those things for the beard where you moisturizing your beard or something?
No, we finna hit the bank up, bro. Listen, after today, we
really on it.
After today, man, we finna have a whole studio, all that, man. We're gonna have a tour bus.
Let's go. Make it happen, Captain. Let's go.
Let me answer Moss real quick. He asked about his nephew's high school back in Texas. They were in the playoffs. and they were playing the number 1 team in their classification. No, they did not get the upset win. They got beat 42-21 by Frisco Lone Star. So, good season, younger team. They'll be back next year, but nope, they couldn't pull the upset.
Yeah, Donnell said he on something shiesty. That's why he got that mask on.
He said he going to hit the bank. So I'm rolling.
There it is.
I'm rolling. Hey, FanDuel's changed my stuff down at the bottom. We on City League TV. We on YouTube. We on Facebook too, but we trying to move more towards that YouTube page.
Do you want him to take out the Facebook altogether, or Facebook and YouTube?
You can take out the Facebook altogether. We all down there at the bottom. We straight YouTube on here.
Okay, cool. I'll get that done for us then. Cool. All right, y'all.
Real quick, what picks Donnell talking about?
Donnell, what picks you talking about? What's your picks? We said, what's your picks post game? Hopefully he'll chime in real quick so we see what he's talking about.
I wonder if he wanting to know the picks for your banks to hit in what order.
Oh, college game day.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, we probably trying to get out of here, my man. You can definitely hit up the Thursday stream. All our picks are in there, my man.
Who you got between Pitt and Georgia Tech, real quick?
Man, I'm gonna take Pittsburgh. I'm gonna take Pittsburgh in a slight upset, and that's gonna really make the ACC really ugly.
Yeah. What about Oregon and USC?
I'm taking USC in the upset. I think Oregon can really run the ball and control the clock, but when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade, and I think Makai Lemon is gonna have a day.
Oklahoma, Missouri.
I'm taking Oklahoma.
Okay. Well, that's a couple for you down there. I don't know if you had any more that you wanted to throw out there, but this week's games are not that great on the slate. I think the biggest one is that Oregon USC. There's a couple of other ones that are decent. Do Tulane win today over Temple?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Tulane win, North Texas win. I think that'll set up. I think if they both win, I think that locks them into the championship game because I think they have a tiebreaker advantage over Navy.
Yeah, if they do.
So you could have your love of North Texas in the playoffs and not y'all. So I think I missed one of my upset picks to mention on this. I mentioned it on Thursday, and it took everybody off their mind. LSU is going to lose to Western Kentucky.
Oh,
what happens, boy? They better beat Oklahoma the week after.
Yeah, if that happened, they need to take the SEC down a couple more notches.
LSU's garbage. I mean, Nussmeier's not playing, so they're playing Van Buren, who's not a bad quarterback. Western Kentucky
be that bad, John.
Western Kentucky can score, dude, and Western Kentucky can play some ball.
You
know, that's my crazy upset of the weekend.
I like that. I would love that.
There's another one I took the points on with my parlay. So I just LSU's in shambles right now, man, and that's a good Western Kentucky team.
They're in shambles, but I need them to beat Oklahoma next week.
App State upset Michigan. Let's not forget. I know App State upset A&M a couple years ago too. Yeah. So, yeah. I knew you weren't on the stream for that T1, so I wanted to throw that. Make sure you heard my upset pick.
You know, I like that.
I didn't put my name. My head ain't on the guillotine for it, but look, have some fun with it, right?
Right.
For sure, for sure. All right, everybody out there tuning in, make sure that you subscribe to those channels you see scrolling across the bottom. We got WTP for Life, which is WTP Sports Dudes. Our man Mossberg of Level Up Sports Team. Our man Parlay Poe of the Blitzberg Podcast. Our man Post Game of the Post Game 86 Podcast. Also, our man City League TV on YouTube. FanDuel Zaya of the FanDuel Zaya Podcast, and our man SEC Sean of the SEC Sean Podcast. I'm telling you right now, go back and check out that NASCAR for Beginners Parts 1 and 2. You will be amazed at how much information he dropped about NASCAR racing. Peace and go Bucks by our man Don B. I'll see y'all soon. Enjoy the rest of y'all's day, and we'll catch you on the run. We'll see y'all tomorrow morning at 9
I know the
a.m.
drill. We was in the building. Now we out. Peace. Love y'all, fellas.
Peace.
All
Love you
right,
too,
brother.
brother.
Y'all be good. Woo
So-
pig.
All right.